It's time now for Maple in the Morning with your host, Stacy Maple. Maple in the Morning is heard here on WPCR and WPIB radio at 10 a.m. and features guests excelling in their business or organization, local government officials, and those making news around our area. And now here's Stacy Maple with Maple in the Morning here on WPCR and WPIB radio.
Good morning. I'm Stacy Maple with Maple in the Morning on WPCR, PortClintonRadio.com, and also heard on our affiliate station, WPIB, Put-in-Bay-Radio.com. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm so excited today because we're going to be talking about a cause that's near and dear to my heart. Bistro 163, that is. We are having a fundraiser. It's going to be our very first Trick-or-Trot. It's a 5K run and walk. It's going to be held Saturday, October 27th at 6 o'clock out at the Catawba Island Club. And we could not have done this and pull this off or put it together without the help of some really supportive businesses and friends of the bistro. And I have one of them on the phone with me this morning, Mr. Dave Slater. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Stacy. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
Very good.
You're probably still wondering how you got not just roped into helping me as a race director, but now on the radio. But I'm so glad that you're with me this morning. Dave is actually an agent with State Farm, and he is also a member of the Fremont Elite Runners Club. And so when we were trying to put together this 5K, I knew from talking with Dave over the last couple of years that he is an avid runner and had lots of experience to offer, and as a race director for many different 5Ks and different runs around the area. So he was really a go-to for me. And so Dave is actually acting as the race director. I'm kind of learning from him. He's my mentor and trying to put this together for future years. But again, just thank you so much, Dave, for being willing to step up to the plate and help us out with this great fundraiser.
Glad to do it.
Dave came to us, I think you were actually on a run. Didn't you just finish a run a couple years ago and you were looking for a place to grab something to eat and stumbled upon the bistro? Is that right?
I was. It was interesting. I was actually training for the Boston Marathon, and I just finished a 20-mile training run, and it was absolutely famished. And I wandered into the bistro right at closing time, and you were enough to feed me, as I probably didn't have enough energy to walk back out the door.
You looked like you needed a meal, so that's why we took you in. But that kind of really started a great relationship of Dave and the bistro and myself, and he's just been such a great supporter. He and another gentleman, Phil Steinley, were sitting one afternoon having lunch at the bistro, looked at what was our counter at the time, and there was a pastry case in the middle of it, and we're really not into pastry at the bistro. So he looked at that along with Phil and decided that we really needed to change the look of the counter space, and so they did. That's the bottom line. The two gentlemen built a beautiful base to our counter with some reclaimed lumber. I mean, tell everybody about how that all kind of came to be and so on and so forth.
Well, it was a very fun project. We tried to decide what could be the most interesting counter for that space. We thought, if we're going to do it, let's really do something extreme. So we found a farmer that was in the process of tearing down an old timber frame barn, and we went over one afternoon with our chainsaws and salvaged a bunch of lumber from that, and ended up building what you see there is a timber frame bar. It may be the only one in town that's a timber frame bar.
It probably is. We get so many great comments when people come in, because it really is, it's a beautiful, almost like a show-stopping counter that we have people walk in and say, "Oh my gosh, where'd you get this?"
But truth be told, that project was probably more than anything an excuse to continue to come in the restaurant and eat Chef Stacy's amazing food.
Well, thanks, Dave. We appreciate that too. But it's really been a lot of fun to get to know you, and all your support has just been wonderful. So we really, really appreciate it. And now with the help of the Fremont Elite Runners Club, you guys are helping us put together this fundraising event. And again, as I said, it's going to be the Trick-or-Trot. It's a 5K run walk, going to be held on Saturday, October 27th. It is an evening run, which is really kind of fun for out here this time of year, especially. It'll start right at dusk at 6 p.m. and we'll finish up when those last walkers come across. They might need their flashlight. It's probably going to be a little bit dark, but it's also a costumed run, and that really gives people an opportunity to really kind of just go out and have a lot of fun. So beyond the racing aspect, this is going to be an entire event, and we're really excited to be able to partner with the Fremont Elite Runners Club. We also have some other great sponsors. WPCR coming to you from there today. They're going to have a remote broadcast there, and they've just been so supportive. And also CIC, the Catawba Island Club. It's actually where the event is being held. And Ken Williams and the group out there is just so easy to work with and so accommodating. And they're actually allowing us to use the Catawba Island Golf Course cart path as where the course for the actual run, and they're gifting us that space for the day. So again, wonderful sponsorship from the Runners Club with Dave, and then also WPCR and CIC. So thank you to everybody. Before we even get going and before any money is actually raised, we're just thrilled to have such local support and some community support like this. So Dave, let's talk about the run. As I said, you've got lots of these races under your belt that you've ran in and also that you've directed. So what can you tell us about this particular run? What makes this special?
Well, Stacy, I did have the opportunity a couple of weeks ago to go out to the Catawba Island Club and run the course that we'll use for this race. And I will say, being lucky enough to run races all over the country, the course there takes second to none. It is a beautiful facility, and the course is amazing. So people were going to have a lot of fun out there.
It's a beautiful course, and it's not, they call it an out and back, but you and I talked about, it's not a real traditional out and back. There's a loop there. So you are going to run out along the golf course, obviously, make a loop and come back in. They're going to start and finish right there at the fitness club or where the golf pro shop is located. We're going to park there. And most of the event, as far as the party and registration and start and finish, is going to be right there on that particular site. Again, we're going to have some great prizes. We're going to be awarding prizes to the top 3 by gender. So the top 3 men and the top 3 women that come through are going to be awarded with a prize. And all the participants are getting medals. And also, if you pre-register, which today is the last day to pre-register. So folks, if you're hearing this, make sure you register afterwards. Today is the last day to pre-register. And by pre-registering, you get a beautiful long sleeve t-shirt. And those t-shirts are designed by the Put in Bay t-shirt company right here in Port Clinton. They put a lot of hard work into that design, and it's really a really cool shirt. We're having a post-race party afterwards. It's going to be right there again at the fitness center on the patio, so right underneath the lights and underneath the stars. And you can come on out afterwards and enjoy a bowl of chili that's provided by the bistro. Also, we'll have apple cider. We'll have some sweets, some cookies, and of course, we'll have lots of water and apples for all of our runners too, who just need something quick to get down. But it's going to be an entire event. We wanted to put together something that wasn't just a run or just a 5K. From the atmosphere of it taking place at dusk, to the costumes that we're encouraging everyone to wear, and that post-race party, we're hoping that people can come on out, get those costumes on, and this will be a great kickoff for your Saturday night. There's lots of things going on around the area, so it's a good place to start anyway. Registration begins at 4:30. The race, as I said, starts at 6 p.m., and there'll be a post-race party for everyone underneath the stars immediately following the run. And I guess all these dollars that we're raising are going to go to Bistro 163. And Bistro 163 is a nonprofit mission-based restaurant right here in Port Clinton. So if you haven't had a chance to come in and experience the Bistro, do so. If you're hearing us from Toledo or Cleveland or even Columbus, make sure that Bistro is one of your stops on your way through town. It's a place where everyone is welcome to eat a meal regardless of their ability to pay. It's kind of a cool concept. There's about 50 of us across the country, and our mission really is to increase food security, which is just a fancy way of saying feeding the people here who need a meal. And so our catch line for this particular run, our fundraiser, is Racing to Feed the Hungry. I think that's pretty appropriate. Ties in Bistro 163 to this actual event. What do you think about the event as far as overall? Like we talked about early on, you and I talked about making sure we really provided an experience. So what do you think?
I think, first and foremost, I think the food alone is going to be worth coming out for. Bistro 163 chili, forget it. I'll be there just for that. But aside from that, of course, the course itself is like running through a manicured park, the entire course. And I think the overall event is going to be an amazing experience.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, we're going to have prizes for the first 3 men and women that cross the finish line, medals for all finishers, but we also have kind of a fun aspect to this where we're going to have some prizes for costumes. So I can tell you the categories will be voted on by our volunteers, and we're going to be looking for the best costume individual, Best Youth Costume, Best Group Costume, and Best Pet Costume. So this particular run is fun because we're allowing pets at the course as well. CIC is so gracious to allow us to bring our furry little friends with us on that 5K run. So the pets are welcome, and also strollers are allowed. So, I know this is a concern sometimes for different runners. How do we plan on managing those two aspects, Dave? So making sure that it's a fun and safe run for everybody.
Well, of course, we'll try to start the fast runners up in the front, and then our pet runners will start in the back, and so they can all be together in the back, and the speedsters won't trip over the leashes.
So have you participated in costume runs like this anywhere else?
I have. We do a run in Hell, Michigan every year, Dances with Dirt, that is a team costume event, and it's a very competitive run, and it ends up being it's about a 200-mile run. So, and it's
200 mile, is that what you said?
Yeah, it's a 5-6 person team event.
Wow.
And it's an all-day event. But the costume aspect of it really adds a fun element to the mix, especially at Halloween time. Who doesn't like to dress up in their favorite costume?
Yep. And, downtown, I think, there's a zombie pub crawl going on in Port Clinton, and it starts, I think, about 7:00. So just about the time our post party is going to be winding down, you can head on out in the town in your costumes. You already have a little kickoff to your night. Come on out for the Trick-or-Trot, and you can get things started there. We will have a cash bar available, afterwards too, so beer and wine sales are available, as well as we'll have included in the event, we'll have chili, cider, water, and I think we're either going to do cookies or donuts. I'm not sure yet how that's going to materialize, but something nice and sweet too. And there'll also be Bergman's apples. Bergman has generously donated apples to our event too this year. So we're really excited about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Do you think we got it all under control? I hope.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot for stepping up and really helping us put this together. Again, we wouldn't be able to do it without the help of some really supportive sponsors, and the Fremont Elite Runners Club and Dave Slater, who we're talking to. Thanks so much for you guys for agreeing to come on out. Not only are, you yourself have stepped up, but you're bringing some of the runners from the club, and they're going to help us with the start and the finish, and also just kind of managing the race. So thank you so much to your club for stepping up and helping us out. Those are expenses that, we don't have to incur, and just adding your expertise to the event is really going to help us add a little sense of polish to things. WPCR has been great. They're going to provide a remote broadcast the day of the run, so there'll be some really fun nighttime music that's going to be playing, and also be able to use their PA system for making announcements, pre and post run announcements. And again, we have to say thank you to CIC, Catawba Island Club, and Ken Williams out there for being so willing to allow us to run this race right there on their course. And Dave, you said, it really is a beautiful spot to run, and I'm really looking forward to it at night. Do you think people need to bring flashlights or anything to make their way across the course if they're coming in late, if there's some of those late walkers?
If they're concerned about, if they maybe have some little kids with them and they're concerned about that, I believe the part of the course that we're going to be running through has enough light that you'll be able to see the course well enough. And we will have some of our volunteers that are our seasoned race directors out on the course directing people also.
Yeah. It'll be fun though. So if you do want to bring some glow items, I will have bracelets and a few things there on site for people just to kind of decorate themselves up and make themselves glow. But if you want to bring some of your own, bring in some flashlights and stuff too. I think it really just kind of adds to the whole atmosphere anyway, with it being a nighttime run. And may as well take advantage of it and embrace the dark, because it's a Halloween run. So
Absolutely.
Dave, thanks so much for joining me on air this morning. I appreciate you being, again, so willing to just help in whatever way has been needed. And I can't thank you enough. Thanks. Thank you.
We're glad to be involved, and we're looking forward to it.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, that's the Trick-or-Trot 5K Run Walk. It's Saturday, October 27th. It's going to start at 6:00. So registration opens at 4:30. Today is the last day to pre-register, so we should talk about that. Cost for the run is actually $45 after today. So $35 today, 45 tomorrow. And if you'd like to register, you can go to Bistro 163 to our Facebook page. You can find the event link there for an online registration. Also, you can register the day of the run. It is $45 if you come out the day of the run. We'd love to have you, and even just come out and just be a spectator if you'd like. It's going to be a lot of fun just to see all these costume runners come across the line, especially at nighttime. So we really are looking forward to a great community event. And Dave Slater, thank you again for joining me and for all that you're doing to help us make this successful. Thank you. I'm Stacey Maple with Maple in the Morning on WPCR, PortClintonRadio.com, and also heard on our affiliate station, WPIB, Put-in-Bay-Radio.com.
You've been listening to Maple in the Morning with your host, Stacey Maple. If you missed part of today's show or would like to hear it again, Maple in the Morning is available on demand at PortClintonRadio.com or WPIB.com. Join us again here at 10 a.m. for Maple in the Morning with Stacey Maple on WPCR and WPIB Radio.